Hi, this is Tony Cheng, live for CGTN at Wat Tep Sarin in the center of Bangkok. And we are here on the sad occasion of the funeral of Vichai Srivaddhanaprabha, a man who was known here in Thailand as a tycoon. He was a billionaire, the fifth richest man in the kingdom. But he was probably most famous as the owner of Leicester City, a football club in the English Premiership, which he brought some 8 years ago. And he took them in that relatively short period of time from solidly middle of the league team to winning the Premiership in 2016. And that is considered to be one of the most incredible feats in recent English footballing history. At the beginning of that 2015-2016 season, they had odds of 5,000 to 1 to win the Premiership, and they accomplished that. It was really quite stunning. It's a feat that gathered the attention of the world, but particularly here in Bangkok, where there isn't a particularly strong footballing tradition. It brought an enormous amount of national pride, and obviously in Leicester too. And we've seen since the tragic death of Khun Vichai in a helicopter accident after the match, Leicester City's match finished on the 27th of October, when his helicopter took off from the ground, as was his standard practice, and then crashed down to the ground soon afterwards. We've seen since then an outpouring of grief from the fans, many people coming to lay flowers outside the King Power Stadium, coming to express their grief. And he was an owner, I think, in a Premiership which is often dominated by money, owners who are often seen as disassociated from their fans, as a man who clearly had the finances, and he put money into the club and the players. But he also had a personal touch, and he was there a lot of the time. He was always at the matches. He subsidized free beer for the fans, free pastries on his birthday. He made it more easy for fans to go to away matches, which in the English Premiership is a very expensive thing to do. And they've been remembering that. But if we move around here, we can see in Wat Tep Sarin, this is very much a traditional Thai temple with several buildings, obviously at the center here, the main building. And if we just look a little bit beyond that, you can see the entrance to the funeral hall where the proceedings have been taking place. They started on Saturday. We're not able to get any closer for obvious reasons. The family and those involved in the funeral have asked that we remain at a respectful distance, and the media, which has been here in large numbers, have been observing that. If we swing the camera around, we can see some of those cameras that have been waiting. A lot of interest both here in Thailand from the Thai media, but also from the UK media in this event. We saw also yesterday evening the whole of Leicester City Football Club arriving in Bangkok. They came immediately after their match finished on Saturday, a match they won, perhaps surprisingly, given the circumstances, the grim circumstances, 1-0. But then all the players got on a plane, they came to Bangkok, they arrived yesterday, they came to the funeral. We understand some are going to be back here today before returning for their match this weekend in the United Kingdom. For the last couple of days, we've seen a list, however, of very high-profile Thai dignitaries, and it illustrates, I think, something of the character of Khun Vichai, the two different lives he lived. Here in Thailand, he was a tycoon. He was one of the Thai elite. His business, he himself came from very humble roots, child of Chinese immigrants. He didn't have a very privileged upbringing, but he took his company, King Power, from almost nothing in 1990 to this incredible position. He got a monopoly to run the duty-free concession at Thailand's airports. Now, if you look at Thailand's progress as a tourist destination in the last couple of years, it's exploded. And every tourist that passed through their airports went through those duty-free shops, and it was clearly very lucrative for Khun Vichai and King Power. It made him the fifth richest man in Thailand. And we've seen over the last few days some of the people that he knew coming to pay their respects on Saturday, which was actually not part of the funeral proceedings. It was a bathing ceremony, and one which is only accorded to several few. It's a royal privilege, and with his strong connections with the royal family in Thailand, Khun Vichai was allowed this privilege by the king. We saw the Deputy Prime Minister coming to take part in those rituals. And then the funeral started officially on Sunday, yesterday, and will run, we understand, until the 9th. Obviously on the first day it was principally family. They will be attending throughout the course of these funeral proceedings. We think today it will be open to members of the public, and we're expecting later on a large number of people, staff of King Power, other people who knew him, and probably quite a large number of football fans as well to come and pay their respects too. Just to give you a little bit of background about Thai funerals and how they work, they often take place over a number of evenings, usually in the evening because of the heat. It's now about 35 degrees here in Bangkok. So usually they take place in the evening. People arrive, they sit, they listen to monks who will be chanting prayers throughout the course of the evening. And it gives a chance for quiet reflection, a chance for people to think back about their relationship with the departed, and for them to consider, I think particularly in this very Buddhist country, the state of their lives, the relationships they had with the departed. And that's going to be a very major part of proceedings over the next few days. Of course, Khun Vichai will be remembered very strongly as for his relationship with Leicester. It was, as I said, really a club that had performed well, but it's not a large city. It didn't have a strong footballing tradition. And when they won the Premiership in 2016, it, I think, stunned the world. Khun Vichai was always there. He's remembered as being a fundamental part of that winning team. And I was looking back at some of the footage when they won that cup. And it was very interesting. When he came up to the stage to make a few statements afterwards, he talked about his management philosophy. He said that we're a family, and his company is very much a family company. His 4 children are all intimately involved in the business, and we understand that they will be intimately involved in the future running of Leicester Football Club. His son, Top, is going to take on the role of chairman in his absence. But he also talked about his relationship with the players. He said that, you know, these people we now consider to be friends, to be family. We talk to them about their problems. We talk to them about the things that are ailing them, the things that they need. And you can see the strength of that relationship in the fact that they've all come here today. It's not an easy trip to make, particularly if you're a professional athlete, to fly halfway across the world and back again in a week when you are expected to perform at the highest level is going to put an enormous strain on them. But none of them appear to have questioned that. They've all been here, and they all appear to have been very touched and very saddened by what's happened. You can see also in Thailand, it is a great loss. Thais have been very interested in the English Premiership for a long time. You can go into any taxi or tuk-tuk here in Bangkok and you'll see stickers or flags, fans of Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. Leicester City was perhaps not among those top ranks of clubs which people have associated at the very top rank, but he put it up there. And I remember when they won, we were at a celebration at King Power's central offices in Bangkok, and there was an enormous party going on. It was almost as if the Thai national team had won the World Cup. And Thailand doesn't have a particularly strong footballing tradition. Thais, I think, while being very interested in football, haven't performed as a national team, but Khun Vichai gave them that opportunity. We spoke to a fan the other day who said that he was a man who gave Thai fans the opportunity not just to get involved in a very sort of in the Premiership in a very intimate way. But he also gave himself, he gave his time and effort. He said that it was very noticeable that Vichai's contribution to Leicester wasn't just a financial one. It was one of heart and of effort. And I think that's something that has touched many Thai people, and that is what will be remembered. So we're going to leave the temple now. The proceedings, as I say, will go on until the 9th. People are starting to gather as the evening draws in. And I think just looking for an opportunity to say goodbye to a man who touched so many people with his contribution to football in perhaps a rather unexpected way. A Thai tycoon, a member of Thailand's elite, perhaps often seen as distant, somewhat mysterious, but with his contribution to Leicester City, he made a contribution that touched hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions. For CGTN, this is Tony Cheng, live in Bangkok.